Okay, we've got some time to bring it on.
All right,
Let's start with this first question that comes from Richard, who says, why do churches and other Christian organizations put the wise men at the nativity when the Bible clearly says they didn't come until much later? How do we expect the world to get it right when we don't even get it right?
Well, you get it right. You know, if you read literature, they compress things. I mean, you know, things happen over a 10-year period, and an author can compress them into a few paragraphs, you know. I mean, that's just it's an artistic license. I think I can use that, but it brings about the drama of what happened surrounding the birth of Christ, that the heavens opened up, and there were signs in the heavens that indicated these were astrologers who were looking at the heavens, that this was a key that a king had been born in Israel. So you've got the birth of Christ, and then you've got an attestation. So it took maybe a year or two, so who cares? We put them together in the Bible, and the essence is Jesus is a big deal.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
That's all right.
Okay, this is Jeff, who says, I've been married for nearly 11 years. Things have not been good, and I admit a lot of it's been due to a porn addiction I had. In the first year of our marriage, my wife got saved and ran to the Lord. She spoke to me about it, so I finally said I'd say the words and be saved, although I was mainly doing it for her. Over the years, I kept reverting back to my old ways. I'd ask for forgiveness on the things I knew that she knew about, but I never felt I was totally saved. In the last few months, my wife has said she wants a divorce. God had already begun working on me before this came up, but since it has, I've turned it all over to God and let him take control of my life, and I'm not turning back. My wife's reasoning for wanting a divorce is sexual immorality. Now that I'm truly saved, should these things be held against me? Would God just say this divorce is okay?
No, God doesn't say that, and God's not holding it against you. He'll accept your forgiveness. But listen, the thing of it is, the eternal penalty of sin gets wiped away by the Lord, but the temporal damage exists. You broke your marriage vows over and over again. You insulted your wife. You demeaned her. And you focused your attention, your sexual life and everything on these images and porn, and who knows whether you had an adulterous affair. So she has a right. Now, what I would say is, maybe if you would ask her, how about if I get counseling? How about if I have a trial period? See if I don't reform and become the man that you want me to be, because it'd be far better if you stay together. But in the meantime, you may have to have a separation. She has every reason to say, prove it. I don't believe you, prove it. All right?
Okay, this is Valerie, who says, my fiance and I have been living together for 8 years and have 3 beautiful children together. I recently became a Christian, and I want to get married to make things right now that I'm a Christian. He keeps telling me later. I don't know why he's putting it off, but I'm worried about living in sin. Any advice?
Well, the advice is absolutely your boyfriend or fiance, whatever you call him, you are carrying on an immoral relationship. And it's so simple to solemnify that into a marriage. But he doesn't want to take on the obligation. And he's obviously got the benefits of being married. He has the sex and all the things and the comfort of home and a nice wife that's cooking food for him and looking after his kids. You need to tell him, look, I'm not going to do this anymore. And it's not that hard to get married, all right?
Okay, this is a quick one. Serene says, I'd like to know your thoughts on appropriate boundaries for married people in opposite gender friendships. A female friend from my husband's past has recently reached out to him. They communicate frequently through Facebook, messaging, text, video chats, and phone calls. She's not a Christian. Their communication makes me uncomfortable.
You need to put your foot down on that one and say, no way. There's a physical adultery, there's mental adultery, and spiritual adultery, and they're establishing a spiritual bond, which is an equivalent of adultery. And, you know, one thing will lead to another, and the next thing you know, they're into a sexual relation. You've got to tell him, I'm not going to stand for this. Now, shape up, or else I'm just not going to do it, okay?